Right folks, good afternoon again. So essentially, similar to the other tutorial we were converting binary back to our number system, the Denary number system, what I'm going to show you in this version is how to convert our numbers into binary in the same way that a computer would store it. This is the method that we're using at the National 4 and National 5 level. So what we're going to start off with is we're going to get a little number that we can use. So to start off with, at National 4 and National 5 we will not be doing, the range that you'll be showing will be between 0 and 255. Okay. For the purpose of this demonstration, I'm just going to choose, we'll pick 132 for this example. So in the same way you do when you're converting binary to Denary, what we are going to be looking at is the first step is always putting in our placeholder values. So because at National 5 you will be getting up to a maximum of 8 digits in your binary number, we are going to use the 8 placeholder values. So we've got 128 and then 64 and then 32, and as you can see where the pattern is going, 16, 8, 4, 2 and 1. So next, relatively simple, to convert this we're going to do a little bit of mental maths. So what we need to do is we need to take our value, which in this case is 132, and we need to see, can we take 128 away from 132 and be left with a positive number or a value of 0 or greater. In this case 128 is less than 132, so we can. That leaves us 1, and then in this instance it leaves us with remainder 4. So next question is, can we take 64 away from 4 and get a positive number? That'll be a no. Then can we take 32 away from 4? Unfortunately not. 16, again no. 8, also no. And then 4, we can take that away and that leaves us with 0. So because this leaves us with 0, we know that the remaining values will simply be 0. So as I've mentioned, you will be dealing with, oh, where are we? There's eraser. So we'll get rid of this example. So as we've mentioned, the values you will be getting are a maximum of 255. So for this purposes of this example, 255, we will be using this number. So you'll notice when we get to the end and when we get to the solution, it's very straightforward, and if you can remember this one, it really will save you a lot of time. So 128, you can. That leaves us with 1, 2, 7. 64, can you take that away? You can indeed. And that leaves us with 31. Oh no, sorry, that leaves us with 63. My apologies. Getting ahead of myself. 63, we can take 32 away from that, so that leaves us with 31. We can take that away, which leaves us with 15. We can take 8 away, which leaves us with 7. 4, we can, which leaves us with 3. 2, we can, and that leaves us with 1. And then 1, we can take 1 away from 1, which leaves us with 0. As I've mentioned, 255 is the largest number that you can store with 8 digits. So as a result, we know that every single one of our binary values will be in the 1 value, and it leaves us with 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. A little side note as well is, if you are ever getting a Denary number to convert, I would strongly suggest drawing in the placeholder values making yourself a wee table and carrying it out that way. But as a wee shortcut, if you ever get a value that is one less than any of our placeholder values, so for example, say we got 63 and we had to convert it, we would get 0. We would get 0. And in 63, because it's one less than 64, would be a 1 in all of these. Because if it was 64, you would get a 1 in this column and all the rest would be zeros because it's exactly there. So remember, the steps for this are simply, straight away you are putting your placeholders in, and then you're working from the left hand side going right. Always starting on our left hand side and working your way along. If you like to do it the way I did, where you're basically doing a little takeaway and having your remainder written down the bottom or up above, that's absolutely fine if that works for you. If you like to do it mentally, that's okay. Just remember, always double check it. You can check it really simply. So we'll do one last example, and I'll pick a value of 45. So use 45. So 0 goes in there. We're still left with 45. 0 goes in there. Still left with 45. We can take 32 away. So we'll pop a 1 in there, and that leaves us with 13. Can't do 16 away from 13. Can do 8. So that leaves us with, what was it, 13. So that leaves us with 5. So 4 you can take away from 5. 0. And then 1 away from 1 is absolutely fine. The way to double check these is really simply add up all the ones that have got a 1 underneath. So 32 plus 8 plus 4 plus 1. So if we add that up, we will get 45. This is a really good method of double checking it, because ultimately these questions, once you've got your head around how they work, are very simple and very straightforward to do. They're pretty easy marks to get in any question papers, so long as you've got your head around it. But unfortunately, if you have a 1 in the wrong place or a 0 in the wrong place, you will end up with 0 marks for the question. The questions usually only give marks for the final answer that you've put down. So rather than throwing them away, just make sure, do a quick check to make sure everything is up and running. Now, once again, thank you very much for paying attention. If you've got any further questions or you're not totally sure, I will be organising meetings through Teams where you can come along and you can ask any questions, get any further advice, and you can contact me as usual through email, through Teams, or pop into one of the meetings that I've set up and ask any questions you've got. Thank you very much. Goodbye.